It's weird, guys. I could talk to you about a lot of different types of abuse, starting from, sadly, my earliest memory. I could talk to you about mental, emotional, sexual, physical, violence. I could talk to you about a lot of different types of abuse. Most of it took place in my childhood, because as I got older, I, for the first half of my life, gravitated towards older, more protective types of people. And most of the time, those people were good to me, the first half of my life. Second half of my life, as I started to emotionally grow more and get more empathy and more emotional intelligence and stronger and more independent, things changed. And I guess because of my trauma and things that I hadn't completely healed all the way, I attracted a lot of broken types, toxic types, addicted types. It's all in my family. And as my kids grew up, they were sort of a safety feature parked there with me for years. That kept me from letting people in too closely. As they got towards adulthood, I let people in more and more, and things started to happen. So anyway, I could talk to you about a lot of different types of abuse, but mental, emotional, psychological abuse, gaslighting in particular, is one of the most cruel, horrible forms of mental and emotional abuse that one could ever go through. For me personally, no, I don't like being called names. No, I wouldn't enjoy any type of emotional abuse at all. But the gaslighting out of all of it that I endured has got me so on edge and I don't want to be like the person who put me through that. I don't want to. That's why therapy is important. That's why being aware of this is important, because that's why people turn around and abuse, and they turn around and they're so on guard and they have all these defense mechanisms, and because they don't deal with the trauma. They don't do like what I'm doing right now. They don't tell people. They don't talk about it. They don't identify it. They don't feel the feeling of it. They avoid it. They medicate it. They do whatever they have to do to forget it, and that's very dangerous and unhealthy. But gaslighting, oh my God, it's downright cruel. And depending on how long you live with it, and I'm going to go into it, I'm going to get into some detail here in just a minute. The more, and anyone who hasn't lived through that, they think it's just a joke. They think that's just, oh, that's nothing. That's no big deal. And your abuser who pulled that shit on you will try that same thing with you. That right there, that is gaslighting. That's no big deal. It's almost like an evil fucking spirit. And I feel like this world, the masses, I feel like a lot of them are like that. A lot of people are being gaslighted, and the masses are like, that's no big deal. Let's find the most traumatized people that we can, who feel things on a very deep level. And I'm not talking about hypersensitivity. Okay, hypersensitivity is toxic. When a wind puff just makes you trigger off. Well, you definitely need to go to therapy if you're like that, because you're going to hurt other people. I'm not talking about being hypersensitive. I'm talking about being deeply and highly sensitive human being who wants what's right for all people and themselves. I feel like the masses, there's a lot of people out there that are so tormented themselves, so traumatized themselves, so fucking miserable. And I know a lot of them personally that they love to gaslight. Some of those people are in my family. They love to see you get upset. It gets them high because they're so fucking empty and miserable. They have no light, no hobbies, they've ruined their fucking lives, or so they think. And they want to see other people miserable, hence the gaslighting. It's this little fun thing they do to entertain themselves, and I'll tell you more about that.